Hello, everybody. This is Ronry. As always, um, there was an exercise that I did in Sunday school because I wasn't always a Muslim. I chose Islam when I was 17. Um, when I went to Southern Baptist Sunday school, there was an exercise we did one time. And I thought I might pass it on to any of you who may be Christian or Muslim or Jewish. I don't know how Jewish people pray, actually, now that I think about it. Do Jewish people pray the same as Christians? That's what I'm assuming. Anyway, if you pray or make dua for others and you want to expand your horizons a little bit, look at the country of origin for all the food and all the clothing and other items that you consume daily. So I was looking at the back of my orange juice, and it says best if consumed within 7 to 10 days. So I was analyzing that a little bit, and I'm like, best if. That doesn't mean it expired. I can still drink it. And I tasted it. It's been roughly 11 days. It may be a little bit less, maybe 10 days. And it tastes genuinely fine to me, so I'm going to continue drinking it. And while I was reading the back, it said, this product contains juice from fruit that was produced in countries of origin, printed on bottle of neck. So it was like a little... Like, you know those memes where it says, look here, now look at the lower corner. And then it says, now look at the red dot. And then the red dot's right here. And it says, now look at the other lower corner. And now it says, look at the upper corner. You're beautiful. And something, just something like that. You have to follow all the way to the end. One of those little word mazes. That's not really a maze. I don't know what to call it. But it was one of those things, and I looked, and my apple juice is not apple juice, orange juice. Sorry, I have a brain injury. I had a brain injury, rather. I'm okay now. It just affects my speech. Paraphasias. Aphasia is a fun thing to look up and pray for as well. Some people can recover from it. Pray for my uncle. He had a stroke. He has aphasia, and they have a bumper sticker on the back of their car. And it says Aphasia Awareness Society or something like that. And around it, it says loss of communication, not loss of intellect. And I thought that was so fitting because for the longest time I was trapped. Like, I was physically able to move around, but verbally I was having locked in syndrome. I could not communicate with people for the longest time, and I relearned to talk from makeup videos. And then slowly I started relearning how to talk from science videos as well. And then communicating with my friends Fury, Talos, Bad Idea, Apps, and Gav, the various Gavins. Who else? Who am I forgetting? Oh, the two that are underage that I won't name for obvious reasons. They're all awesome people, and they've been showing me normal communication skills, and it's been wonderful, and they appreciate me. They appreciate me constantly giving them something to read in the Discord, even if there's no pressure to actually reply. I think that makes it even better. But anyway, my orange juice was made in the USA and Brazil. So I made a little prayer in my head, which in Islam is called making dua, and I prayed for Brazil. So I suggest that if you have a food or some clothing that was made in a different country, it could be China, it could be Bangladesh, pray for that country and pray for maybe, you could look into what kind of struggles that country is facing right now and pray for specific struggles that they are facing, you know? There's no such thing as praying for too many people, so why not, you know? Hi. Why are you looking at me like that? Let's look at this peanut butter. Great value peanut butter. Distributed by Walmart Inc., Bentonville, Arizona. Contains peanuts. So this was made. Does it say? Is it just gonna let me assume that it was made in Arizona? I remember in Sunday school when we did the exercise, they had us look at the back of our clothes for the clothing tag and see where our clothing was made and pray for the sweatshop workers that made our clothing. And I think that's a beautiful thing, to want to do good for others in any way that we can, whether that just be in our thoughts and prayers or by increasing our awareness of their struggles or by reducing our ecological footprint and our anthropological footprint, how humans affect other humans. I think that being a child of God or being a servant of God, however you interpret the Bible, because in Islam we see ourselves as servants, but in Christianity we see ourselves as children. However you perceive it to be a good one, to be a good servant of God is to improve yourself every day. And that might mean that you hit a wall. Because sometimes walls are there for you to lean on and rest for a while. But we should never get too comfortable with our own flaws. We should always seek to understand, above all else, ourselves. Because this right here is the biggest gift God has ever given me. Is my body and my mind. And there's a Sufi proverb of sorts that said that this woman was walking and she's a scholar herself, and her other scholar friend says, "Why do you have a torch and a bucket?" And she says, "So that I may set heaven on fire and burn it down, and so that I may quench the fires of hell upon my death, because I need neither the reward of heaven nor the fear of hell to be a good servant of God." And that's at the core of Sufism, is that it's not about being perfect according to humans within Islam, but rather your own personal connection with your higher power. And understanding that everybody has their own personal connection with our higher power. That doesn't mean you have to understand on an intimate level how they perceive the same God as you perceive in your ways. It just means you have to respect that it is different. You don't have to understand it, you just have to respect it. And I really don't do anything I do out of reward of heaven, but I do have to get over that fear of hell. I think that no matter what I do, I'm going to go to hell anyway. And the only thing I can do about it is reduce how much punishment I receive by doing good deeds. Because good deeds is how you get into heaven in Islam. I can only hope that after hell comes heaven, and that all the punishment will be worth it in the end. But for today, I will pray for Brazil. Alright, I will see y'all in the next one. Love you. Bye.